everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with 22 books that I want to read in 2022. Some of them are anticipated releases, so they're books coming out in 2022 that I also want to read in 2022. Picked out the ones that I really want to get to this year and that I would feel good about getting to right away. I'm gonna go through those ones really quickly right now, just because I did a whole video on my most anticipated releases, which I will leave up above. I'm not going to go into depth about what they're about or anything because I do that at length in that video. So the first one is When You Get the Chance by Emma Lord. This is the author of Tweet Cute, and I actually already read this book, so yay, already hitting those goals. I give it like a 4, 4.5, so that is one I wanted to get to this year. Then I have The Younger Wife by Sally Hepworth. I read one of her books last year and loved it, so I really would like to get to this one. The Golden Couple by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I read all but one of the things that they've come out with, so excited to get to that one. Plus, I actually already have an arc for it. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry, and I've been loving romance lately, especially enemies to lovers, so I'm really excited to see how she does that with this one. The No Show by Beth O'Leary. This is one that was only on my radar, but then I saw Chelsea from Chelsea Dallin Reads, I think her Instagram handle's different though, talking about it, and she literally said she couldn't put it down. So it went from not only going on my radar to my most anticipated, but then it went to books that I want to get to this year, ASAP. Then I have The Siren Queen by Nevo. This is a story about a Chinese American woman working in the Hollywood industry during the pre-code era, and it's about how the Hollywood elites sacrifice and do ancestral blood magic on young starlets. It just sounds so interesting. It talks about, gender, talks about race, talks about pre-Hollywood issues, some issues that are still honestly relevant today. So I am very excited for that. Then let's get on to the rest of the books. These are ones that came out earlier, ones that have been on my TBR for a long time, ones that I really want to get to, some maybe that I have some videos surrounding. So the first one is An Encore of Roses. This is by S.T. Gibson. This is the same author who did A Dowry of Blood. An Encore of Roses is actually, I think it's an unpublished sequel to A Dowry of Blood, but I know that S.T. Gibson did post about it. If you go to the Goodreads page for A Dowry of Blood, they did make a comment that was hey, if you want to read the sequel, it's available for free online at this link. So I do want to get to that because obviously A Dowry of Blood was one of my favorite reads of last year. Then I have The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Disha Philya. This is one that I actually had my eye on forever, and then I actually found this brand new copy literally at a free little library, so I was like, you bet. 9 stories in this collection features 4 generations of characters grappling with who they want to be in the world. I haven't even read the synopsis. I've just heard such good things. It's a National Book Award finalist, and yeah, I literally have not even read the synopsis. I just know that it's going to be good. I've heard it's heart-wrenching and so powerful, so really excited to get to this one. Plus it helps because I've talked about this a million times, but I'm working so hard this year on actually working on my physical TBR. I read so much last year, and I think I only read I think technically it was 2 physical books or something last year, but I brought in like 30 books or something. So my ratio right now with read to unread on my physical TBR is so bad. So really excited to get to this one. Then I have 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I actually already have this one, not physically, but on audio through Audible. And I was listening to this with Girk, my fiance, and we got halfway, and then we just stopped. It wasn't because of anything with the book or anything like that. We just stopped listening to it and then got out of traction with it. But I got about halfway with this one, so since I already have it on Audible, I would love to just read it. I've heard amazing things. I really was connecting to the characters so much when I was reading it, so I would like to pick this one back up and just finish it. Then I have Long Division by Kisei Lehman. I actually got sent this final copy, and I don't remember, I didn't order it for a fact. I just got sent it. It's not an ARC, it's a final copy. I don't know where it came from, but this wasn't even on my radar. Yeah, I had never heard of this before, but it is such a cool concept. pretty much 2 stories in one. So there is this story, and then you flip it around and it starts from this side. And it's a completely different story. And it is pretty much told in 2 separate stories and written with sharp humor and deep humanity. Long Division is an ambitious mix of contemporary Southern Gothic and Murakami-esque magical realism. The first story is set in 2013, and then the next one is set in 1985. There's like a kid, and somehow he's almost like in both places at once or something like that. It kind of has to do with like time travel. Very interesting. I'm so excited for this. I don't know how to read it. Like, I don't know if you read one side first and then you flip, or if you read like a chapter and a chapter. Like, I'm not 100% sure like the best way to read this book. I'm gonna have to look it up, I think, because I have no idea. Like, with books like this, sometimes it's like a chapter, sometimes it's like the whole thing. I'm gonna have to figure it out, but I am so excited for this one. Then I have A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw. This is the same author that did Winterwood and The Wicked Deep. I did not read Winterwood, but The Wicked Deep was I think it was like a 4-star for me. It was really good. I wasn't a huge fan of the story itself, but I loved the characters and the writing style. So that's why I want to pick up Shay Earnshaw again. And this is their debut, their adult debut. So I'm super excited for that. It's like a mystery. It's like a mystery thriller, I think, but there might be some other elements mixed in there. I'm not 100% sure. So I am really excited for it and to see how it goes. I do have an ARC of this one from NetGalley. I've had it for a while. It's already out. This book came out last year in December, early December, I think, last year, and I just haven't gotten around to it. I haven't been a big fan of reading on my Kindle lately, so I haven't gotten around to it, but the audiobook's out now, so I might try to like request it from the library. I saw that my library has it, so I might like put a hold in on that and try to read it that way. But I am excited to see her debut into adult. Then I have A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. Like I said, I'm trying to get through my physical TBR, and most of my physical TBR, honestly, I feel like is classics. This I know is all about feminism. Virginia Woolf is really big into writing about feminist theory and queer theory even, and sexuality and whatnot. So I am really excited for this one. I've heard nothing but amazing things. It's a super short book. I think it's technically an essay that she wrote, if I'm not mistaken. This essay is based upon 2 papers read to the Art Society in 1928. They were too long to be read in full and have since been altered and expanded. I read half of Miss Dalloway for a class. I only had to read half of it, and I just didn't have the motivation at the time with finals and stuff to like read the rest. So that's another one I really want to get to, and I own it already and everything, but there's something about A Room of One's Own that I am just very excited about. Then I have Project Hail Mary by Andrew Weir. I have already started this one. I'm a couple chapters in. I think I'm like 4 chapters in. This is the same author that did like The Martian and Artemis, I think is his other one. But I started reading this one. It's so funny. It's so great. I'm so excited to see where it goes. I've seen it on a ton of people's like most anticipated or best books of 2021. So I have such high expectations for it, but like I said, I've already started it, and I'm a big fan, so excited to see where it goes. Then I have Tools of Engagement by Tessa Bailey. I have read Fix Her Up, and I have read Love Her or Lose Her. This is the 3rd installment in that series. I think it might be the final one as well, so I'm just kind of excited to like wrap it up. This one's been out for a while. I think it came out last year or in 2020 even, so just excited to like, I don't know, kind of finish the series or just see where these characters have like how they've turned out. That's what I like about romance series, is that it's kind of cool to see like the couples that you have read from before, kind of like where they are now sort of thing. So yeah, that's just a fun one that I am really excited for. Then I have Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I've never read this. I feel like everybody on BookTube, BookTok, Bookstagram, like everybody has read this book. I have not. I read One Last Stop last year, and it was an easy 5-star for me, and people tend to have liked Red, White, and Royal Blue better than One Last Stop. So since One Last Stop was a 5-star for me, I'm excited to see how I feel about Red, White, and Royal Blue. And I have Something to Talk About by Meryl Wilsner. And this is a arc that I've literally had. This came out May 26, 2020. This is an arc I've had for a very long time. I'm very behind on my physical arcs. So along with tackling, like, you know, my physical TBR, the arcs that I'm behind on go with that. It's a 2-year-old arc almost. So yeah, I've heard that it's I think it's a lesbian, sapphic, love story, something like that. A Hollywood powerhouse woman falls in love with her assistant or something. I just need to get through my physical arcs, honestly. So this is cute. It's romance. I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet, but yes, I think my library even got an audiobook of this, so I might listen to the audio while I read it, because sometimes with romance, audio really just like brings the characters to life and feels even more like fluffy. So we'll see. I'm not 100% sure that there's an audiobook, but I'll have to look into it, because I think that might be the way to go with a book like this. Then I have American as Paneer Pie. I need to look up who this is even by. I'm actually unsure. Supriya Kelkar? And this is a middle grade book about an Indian American girl, and I think she navigates prejudice in her small town and learns the power of her own voice in this middle grade novel full of humor and heart. I'm always looking, since my fiance is Punjabi, I'm always looking for Indian kids books, Indian middle grade books, any sort of books with like Indian representation, just because I want to like start stocking up on books like that for our kids. I think it's important that kids see themselves in literature and film and represented just out in the world. So I'm always on the hunt for books that have, there's almost no books that have Punjabi representation, so at this point just books that have Indian representation. So this is like a cute middle grade. It has such good reviews. I just think it's so cute. Like the name even is so cute. Like, I have really high expectations for this, so I want to give this one a go. Then I have They Both Die in the End. I have never read They Both Die in the End by Adam Silvera. I could use a good cry. So I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about this one because it's so renowned. Like, similar to Red, White, and Royal Blue, it's like this is just so loved that I think I've just been pushing it off because it's so loved. But I don't know. I need to finally get around to it. Like, I want to finally know the hype. I want to know what everybody's talking about. This is like blown up. I've always had this, like owned it. I've always like, you know, seen it around, but now with Book Talk, it's like really blown up. So I don't know. I'm excited to see about it. I don't have much to say. It's so renowned and loved. It's just a book that I haven't gotten around to yet, and that's why I want to in this year. Then I have One Dark Throne by Kendar Blake. Throwback, am I right? I think there's 5 or 6 of the Three Dark Crowns series. I own 4 of them, and I've only ever read the first one. Because I own all of them, I need to reread the first one, Three Dark Crowns, first, because I haven't read it in 6 years now. That's crazy. 2016 was 6 years ago. No. Anyways, haven't read it in 6 years. 6 years, so I need to reread it because honestly, like, no memory at all. A little bit, but not enough to like go about the series. And then I need to finish this one, and from this one I'm gonna decide if I even want to continue or not. Because if I don't like the second one, it's such an old series, and there's so many new series that honestly just are calling to me that if this one like flops, I'm not even gonna continue in this series probably. So I need to just reread the first one and read this one. I own so many of them. They're taking up so much space in my library, and I don't even know if I like them or not. So this is a must. I want to complete the series that I'm reading. Then I have Ghost Maps by Steven Johnson. This is random, right? This is random. I don't normally read nonfiction. I don't normally read medical nonfiction. Girk had to read this for class actually when he was in college, and we read it together. Like, we would read it like out loud to each other while he was reading it because I was also kind of interested. It's about the story of London's most terrifying epidemic and how it changed science, cities, and the modern world. We got like maybe a third of the way through or something like that, and I was actually really interested in it. It's very interesting the way it's written. It's not like other nonfiction. It's written like day to day. So like Saturday, September 2nd, and then it'll go like Sunday, September 3rd. It goes day to day and shows how the epidemic like progressed and how it came to be. It's so interesting. I learned so much about like cholera and germs and hygiene and stuff like that, and why we started doing that stuff, mainly because people kept dying. But it was just very interesting. It was way more interesting than I anticipated it being. So I would like to finish this. I'm not a huge nonfiction person, but that's something I'm kind of trying to change about myself. I am trying to learn more from, you know, nonfiction books and stuff. So yeah, I want to finish it. I'll definitely have to reread the parts that I read years ago, but it was very interesting. And my Hoopla actually has this on audio, so that's even better because I can just listen to the audio while I'm reading, which is I think how I absorb nonfiction best. And I have two that I actually, it's kind of weird, but they're on the bottom of my list, and I happen to have already read those two. So it's not like I'm going in order. They just happens to be like next to each other at the bottom. Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman was one that I really wanted to get to, and I already did. And I talk about that in my January wrap-up, so be sure to go check that out. And so far in February, I did read Eyes That Kiss in the Corner. Such a cute book. I'll talk about this in my February wrap-up, but this is one that I just kept hearing about. I think it's so powerful, like I said earlier, for kids to see themselves in literature. So I just love seeing that children's books are getting more diverse and really talking about these things that, you know, impact people on the day-to-day. So I thought it was stunning. It like made me have tears in my eyes. I highly recommend it, but I'll talk about that a little bit more in my February wrap-up. But so far, out of my 22, I've already read 3. That's pretty good, and it's only the 3rd of February. So that's pretty good. So those are all the books that I am planning on getting to in 2022. I'll definitely do like a video at the end of the year or even early next year. It seems so far away, but you know it'll be here so quick. Kind of talking about if I completed them or not, but yeah, those are all the books. Be sure to let me know if you've read any of these or what books you're like really wanting to get to this year. And yeah, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!